going on, everybody? Welcome back to Studio 39, aka the Bear Cave. I'm Rob Odie, and this is Spotlight 39. It's the coach's hype session. You know what it is. We got another super special guest, another coach from another high school somewhere around the nation. We'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on. More importantly, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you like it. It's the only way we're going to continue to grow this thing and get the exposure for these kids that they truly deserve. With that being said, I got to plug the Darius Minor Foundation, doing real big things over there. We got the Heart Walk coming up at the University of Maine. Here's the graphic. It's the Black Bears Heart Walk, October 10th. If you can't attend in person, it's all good. We understand it is kind of out of the way, right? It's up in Maine, but you can still support. You can still help fundraise for the event or for the foundation in general. It would be greatly appreciated. Check out the website, dm39.org. Again, any help is greatly appreciated. Now that all that stuff's out the way, man, let's get into it. Let's have a good grown man conversation. Let's hype up these kids. Let's talk about this program. Who is it going to be? Let's find out. My man. So check this out. I'm going to hand you the floor. You tell us who you are, where you're from, all that fun stuff, and we're going to have some good conversation, man. The floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Rob. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Crowley. I'm the defensive coordinator here at St. Thomas More in Oakdale, Connecticut. And first off, I just want to say thank you, Rob, for having me out here
Sure.
and for the opportunity to be on your platform. I know this is a big thing. You're doing great things for a lot of young guys trying to get to that next level. So I just wanted to, make sure that what you're doing is a great job. But kind of going back, I'm 26 years old. I'm a Connecticut native. I'm from Bristol, Connecticut. Played all high school there. Then after high school, I went to a little prep program down in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And then from there, I played 4 years at Western Connecticut State University and graduated there with a communications degree. Kind of got into the coaching world right after that, just kind of at local public high schools. Did that for about a year and a half, and then I was fortunate enough to land the job here at St. Thomas More. And I should say, I started as the defensive line coach. And then this past season, this is my first season as the defensive coordinator here. So, yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
That's very cool, man. I appreciate the intro.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Hey.
So let's talk about the program itself, right? So I know we talked a little bit off air about some of the things that the program's doing in the direction that it's going. But let's kind of rewind the clock, as I like to say, man, and let's kind of just learn a little bit about the history, right? Because there's some rich history there with the program. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that winning atmosphere, right? Because that's big, that's important. And then we'll get into some kids here in a few minutes, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so basically, St. Thomas More. Again, like I said, it's located in Oakdale, Connecticut. We're on a small location on a beautiful lake, Lake Gardner, and we were founded in 1962, and it was basically an opportunity to get guys exposure for that next level and to get guys ready for that college experience. So we are a prep school and we are a boarding school. So what that means is that everyone, staff included, all live on campus, which makes for a community factor. And I'm sorry.
I said sure. Yeah,
Sorry for there's a slight delay. I apologize for that.
You're fine.
But from there, we've been known more for our basketball program, and Coach Jerry Quinn has been here for 43 years, and he's produced hundreds and thousands of college athletes and hundreds of pros, which has been great. But as about around the early 2000s, the football program started picking up, and they ended up going undefeated and winning the NEPSAC championship, which was big because then it started leadway to guys coming in and understanding that this program isn't just a walkover program. This can become a powerhouse program. From there, we've had some changes in head coaches. And then until probably about 3 years ago, we had a head coach of the name Jason Manson. He came in and really turned this program around and wanted to take this thing national and become this national program. and he's now at Iowa, actually the player of or the director of players, excuse me.
Okay.
And now we have Coach Ernest Anderson, who's here last year, and for the last couple years, he is also an alumni here. So he bleeds Chancellor Blue, and it's exciting because he's now taking this thing to that next level. This is our inaugural year as a national team, right? We're going down to Florida. We're going down to Maryland. We're going all around New England and playing these top program teams,
So
getting our guys to
let me stop
exposure.
you there, man, because we can't just say
Yeah.
we're going down to Florida. We're going to Maryland. Who are we going to play, man? Because there's a lot of schools down in Florida, down in Maryland, right? So what
Yes,
schools
sir.
are we playing, man? What's that schedule look like? So if some dudes come to St. Thomas More, what can they expect, right? What are y'all doing this year?
So this year's a big one. Like I said before, it's our inaugural year of going that national schedule and becoming that national brand that we want. And so in 3 weeks, we're going to head down on October 15th. We're going to head down to Florida and we're going to take on the IMG Academy national team. And we're excited. I mean, these guys have been preparing for this since the summer. And I know a lot of guys haven't had this kind of opportunity to go down there and to travel and play national program teams or national program caliber teams. So that's who we'll kind of kick that half of the season off with. And then towards the end, we're going to head down to Maryland and we're going to take on St. Francis again. They came to us in the spring. Obviously, due to COVID, we had to play in the spring. And we beat them then, so this is going to be a nice little rematch coming up in the later half of the season. So
Good deal, man. So look, I'm going to throw this out there. You talk to your people, and I'll talk to my people. Maryland ain't nothing but a little drive down the road, so I might have to check that one out in person, man. I got to see if I got an open slot. You
absolutely,
give me the date, and I'll check to see if I got an open slot on the fall football tour, man. Because I would certainly love to make that stop. That would be pretty big.
absolutely. I can tell you one thing: it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
It's going to be
No,
a great game. We're going to give it all we got, and I know they're going to be prepared. So it's exciting. It's definitely an exciting time for football fans, for football coaches, and especially the players.
yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit about before we get to the players, right? Because we're almost there, and I know you're itching. But before we get to those dudes, man, let's talk a little bit about this season. How many games have we played? What's the sample size look so far? And then ultimately, how's the season going?
Great question. So this season we are approaching our third week. We played UNH, the University of New Haven. We played their JV team. That was our first game. We ended up fighting, but ultimately they became victorious. And they beat us 21 to 20. And then we played Nichols College up in Massachusetts. We played their JV program, and we ended up beating them pretty good. But it was a great battle. The guys came out ready to play, and we were excited and took that kind of by the horns. And then actually, we'll be going in our fourth week. This past week we played Navy Prep, and those are some great players. I tell you what, it was a beautiful atmosphere. It was a beautiful day. And Navy really brought it to us. But ultimately, in a nail biting finish, we blocked a field goal in overtime and actually returned it for like a 90-yard touchdown to seal the victory. So it was a very exciting couple weeks. This week we play Vision Academy. It'll be our first home game. So we're very excited. We know our fans are very excited, and we're ready. We're ready for this.
That's awesome, man. So big things coming, right? Obviously, super rich history, and then a lot of things to look forward to, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
to get to go down to sunny Florida, that's a plus. But to go down to sunny Florida and get to play a program like IMG, win or lose, it's going to be a battle, right? And they're going to get the experience of playing, you know, one of the nation's best, right? I mean, IMG is what they are for a reason, and you guys go down there. It'll be a lot of fun, man. It'll be a lot of fun for your guys, a lot of fun for the staff, I'm sure, and then great exposure, right? There's gonna be a lot of eyes at that game,
Absolutely.
sure. So it's a win-win-win situation, regardless of what the scoreboard will say at the end, man. So
Yeah.
awesome stuff there. But let's kind of shift gears, right? Let's kind of jump here and let's bring up the fun graphic, right? We got a bunch of
Yes,
pictures,
sir.
a bunch of dudes, man. I'm gonna let you kind of just run with it. You kind of talk about whoever, wherever, and just do what you got to do. Hype these kids up, man. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. All right, I guess I'll start on the defensive side. Just because as the defensive coordinator, I get the best look, and I get they get the most exposure to myself and our staff, kind of critiquing and analyzing and seeing what they do right, what they do wrong, and I tell you what, there's not much that they do wrong. They've been playing together really well. It was a quick turnaround into the season. We had a kind of a minor setback at the beginning of the season, one with kind of the pandemic, the tail end of the pandemic, I guess you could say. And then we had a hurricane. There was a lot of things that kind of happened. But the greatest thing that I could say, not only just on the defensive side, but on the offensive side and the defensive side, they came together very quick. They gelled together very quick. All these guys look out for each other. They all have the best interest for each other, and it's a inspiring thing as a coach and as a young man to see, because everyone has that same goal. As competitive as it can be here, it's the iron sharpens iron thing, but everyone at the end of the day is rooting for each other, and it's a great thing to watch. And any coach who's out there wants to come watch our practice, please do, and just see the camaraderie side of things. Excuse me. But kind of going forward, I guess we'll start. We have some guys who are going to some big places or who are verbally committed, as of right now, to some big places, and I'll kind of mention them just to let you guys know what kind of caliber of guys we're dealing with. We have receiver Logan Forbes. He's committed to Michigan, and Logan is a straight baller. I mean, in any type of situation, we're kind of looking to him to make a big play or to make a big catch or even make a big block. I mean, there's not much that he really can't do. He goes up there and he attacks the ball, and it's a great thing. I know Harbaugh and his staff are lucky to have him up there. Going on the defensive side of things, we have Brian Allen. Now, Brian Allen just looks the part. I mean, not only just looks the part, he plays the part.
And I had him on the show.
Illinois, and you had him on the show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Brian Allen is a terrific young man. He has a bright future ahead of him, not only academically, not only in life, but in football as well. He's 6'4", 245. A great get off, explosive hips, explosive hands, finishes plays. He's in the backfield every play. He's causing havoc for quarterbacks. And guys, I tell you what, offensive coordinators are circling Brian Allen every number 21, Brian Allen every game. So that's something we can definitely look forward to going on from here with the games to be played. Also, now going back, I guess, onto the offensive side of things, we have Antonio Robinson. He comes from Texas. He is verbally committed as of now to Marshall, and he's all invested into the program. He's bought into what we kind of have going on here, and you can see that in his play, and you can see that in his attitude. So I'm excited for him to continue to have success on and off the field. Going down the line again, we have Noah Clifford, who is committed right now to Boston College, and he's the dog. I mean, he's young in football, but I tell you what, when it comes down to it, he's into the trenches. He's fighting. He's doing what he has to do to ultimately have team success. So those are some of the guys that are verbally committed and ready to go on to that next level as of right now. But going forward, we have a lot of guys with FCS offers, FCS interest, FBS offers, FBS interest, and guys are still weighing out some options and kind of gathering in all the information that they can in order to make the best decision for themselves. Because here we don't try to set guys up for 4 years, right? I feel like that's a failing program. We try to set guys up for 40 years.
Yep.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, and all the guys here know, and even the coaching staff know, when the cleats are hung up and the shoulder pads don't get put on anymore, and football's all said and done, what do you bring to the table to life? Can you be a productive young man in society? Can you advocate for yourself appropriately? Can you, give back to others as football has given so much to these young men? And it's a great thing to see. And I'm excited, obviously, for them, and I'm excited for the fans to get to witness what we're about to do. So going forward, I'll kind of just get down. I'll say a little bit about each guy, and I'll try not to get too wordy with some things, but I kind of get excited about this stuff. It's
Look, man,
it's
let
exciting
the
on time
excitement
with
show.
these
Hype these
young men.
dudes up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so I guess I'll start with Sammy Knight. All right, Sammy Knight comes from State College, Pennsylvania. He's a 6'1", 6'2", 225-pound athlete. All right, and when I say athlete, I mean athlete. He can play safety. He can play Mike linebacker. He can play Will linebacker. He plays Sam linebacker. He kind of does it all. The kid has a nose for the football. He's got a great burst, and he finishes. Ultimately, his play speaks volumes for him. Anyone after this, please go check out my Twitter. You can see all these athletes, their highlight tapes posted on my profile. So please check that out and see for yourself. We got something, cooking down in Connecticut. I can tell you that for sure. All right, going next, we're going to go to one of our captains, Ife Ohaleti. Ife Ohaleti is from Texas. He comes from Lake Travis High School. So he comes from a good program. He comes with a good foundation. And he's our safety, but he can play that nickel corner position. He can play that corner position. He's kind of all over the field at all times. He attacks. He attacks, and I mean whether that's in the pass game, whether that's in the run game. He's like a young Earl Thomas, I say sometimes, because of the way he can kind of get after it.
And don't let me cut you off too much, but just throw out those graduating classes too, man. So we know what class.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Sammy Knight is a 22. He's the class of 2022, and Ife Ohaleti is also the class of 2022. I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
I get excited
you're good.
talking about the guys. As much as I'm a coach, I'm also a big fan of these guys. So Ife's he's a great kid. He's a fiery guy, and he's a natural born leader. So colleges, when you invest your time into him, you will see that natural leader. Guys just kind of gravitate themselves towards him, and it's inspiring thing to see, because he's always out there trying to get not only himself better, but the guys around him better, which is a very positive thing. All right, sticking with the D-back kind of trend, I'm going to go to Monty Harris. Monty Harris, again, also comes from Texas. He's a cornerback. He's that kind of prototype cornerback that you look for. He's a class of 2022 as well. He's 6'2", 190 pounds. He's a very physical, very fast, great hips, covers a lot of ground, flies up and makes plays in any type of flats or underneath routes. He's always kind of around the ball. And he comes to us with a lot. He can not only pass the eye test, but he physically can get a lot of things done that a lot of cornerbacks nowadays can't. And it's his experience, and I think it's his knowledge of the game that allows him to translate that to the field, which is a great thing for us, not only as a program, but it's going to be a great thing for a program that invests in him. All right. Continuing, we're going to go to Tyler Ranke on the defensive side. All right. Tyler Ranke is a linebacker. He is a 2022. He's a linebacker, defensive end. Kind of have him playing in those both roles. Some schools are interested in him for defensive end. Other schools are looking for him at that linebacker, that inside linebacker, that will linebacker type. He's got a great frame. He's 6'2", 230. He flies off the ball. He's very physical. He's a very gritty dude. He's a weight room kind of kid. Okay, he's the kind of guy you want to build a program around. And that's very important, because he's been with us for now. This is his second year. So he's been kind of one of those staple guys that we've had that we can kind of build around. And younger guys look to him. Younger linebackers look to him. Younger players look to him. And it's a great thing to have, not only in the locker room, but also on the campus. So then I'll kind of jump back. Well, now I guess I'll jump back onto the offensive side of things. Give them, their shout outs, because I'm sure they're watching at home and enjoying this. So I'm going to go with Ben Murowski. Ben Murowski's 6'8", 320. Yes, I said that right. He is 6'8", 320. Okay, Ben is a very hard-working kid in the trench. All right, he's our left tackle. He's also the class of 2022. Ben Murowski is he is a dog inside. If he gets his hands on you, not many guys are really getting around him. Not many guys are getting off of him. Again, he also finishes plays and really protects that left side, that blind side of the quarterback. And he's a natural leader. He's also one of our captains here, which is a great thing. This will be his second season with us, and he's done a lot for this program. And he's kind of now taking off as offers are starting to fly in for him. Now because of the exposure.
Yeah, so with that, man, I'm just curious, how big was he last year? Like, how much did he grow from year over year? I mean, because he's still a kid, so he's got to grow, right?
Yeah, he is still a kid, but he actually ended up losing a lot of weight and gaining a lot of muscle. Ben came to us; he was 6'8" as well, and he grew and transformed his body into something that a prototype offensive lineman wants to be. Right. And it's inspiring to see, because that shows how serious he is about changing his future and changing his family's future. And that's it's a positive thing to have in a locker room, especially at a school like this. So kind of going forward, I'll go with the quarterbacks. I'll talk about Sean Scroggins. Sean Scroggins comes to us from Las Vegas. He's also a class of 2022. Sean is a wiry kid. He's got a great quick release, right? He extends plays extremely well, and he's helped us in a lot of situations kind of get to that first down or he's not afraid to take off and run. But he can also wing the ball, which is a great thing, because we have receivers who got some wheels to them. So he can just kind of put it out there and they get under it, which is great. And he's becoming a natural leader. Guys are gravitating themselves to him, and those are traits you want to see in a quarterback. Then I'm going to go to our other quarterback, who's also a 2022. We have Sam Whitney. He comes to us from California. And Sam is that pocket presence guy. He's got great feet. He's got a great quick release. He knows where to put the ball, and he's going to get it there. He's got great accuracy. He's got great knowledge to the game, and he's always eager and excited to learn. And Sam, this is now his second semester with us. He came to us in the springtime, so it's nice to have him kind of back and show some of these young guns on offense the ropes and how do we do things. Going forward, I'll kind of step with the running backs. I'm going to actually talk about all the running backs. They all bring something to the table that, each not piece is missing, but they complement each other really, really well. So it's very nice to see. Yeah, we got a three-headed monster. So we have Johnny Martin. Johnny Martin comes to us from New Jersey. He's a PG. He's a class of 2022. Johnny Martin's an all-down back. The more you feed him, the more he runs hard. He's going to find holes. He's going to run through people. He's going to run over people. He's going to run around people. He can kind of do it all. And it's a great thing to have, because anytime he gets that ball, you never know if he's going to break one, or that could be the play, I should say, that he's going to break. Then I'm going to go to DJ Clark. He comes to us from Florida. DJ is a class of 2022. Again, he's lightning fast speed. He was a track runner, so he has that kind of second gear that you see, or you don't see, I guess, in most backs. And he has that next level ability. Next, we have Ethan Sutton. Ethan Sutton is a running back from Canada. He's a class of 2022. Ethan Sutton has great vision, great balance. He sees the hole, he hits it, and he's gone. He hides behind his old lineman, and all of a sudden, next thing you know it, he's in the end zone. You're like, that's impressive. So he's a great addition to that three-headed monster that we have kind of back there. And then going forward, we have some of our tight ends. We have Frankie Pratt and Evan Fiella. Both those kids are mentally there. They are Ivy League kids. They're very physical. They will take kids out of the club, and meaning they'll take them to the sideline, blocking out. Actually, just wanted to make sure that was out there. But those are the guys who can also put their hands in the ground, hands in the dirt, and down block people or go out for routes and make people miss or run through people. They can also play that H-back position, that sniffer position. So those are some guys to kind of look out for going forward. Then I'm going to kind of hop back to the defensive side of things. All right, I'm going to kind of just talk a little bit about some of these guys. I'm not going to get too much into detail. I like to say their film speaks volumes for them, and these guys have got some pretty good film. Like I said, you guys can go check my Twitter handle right below. Just follow the profile, and you can see all of these guys' films posted to kind of get a better assessment on them. All right, I'm going to go just with the linebackers. All right, to start, we have RJ Chicolas. He's a class of 2022. He comes from us from Minnesota, flies around, nose to the ball every play. He's a big effort guy. He's going to be around the ball every single play. There's not a single play that you can watch and he's taking off. And it's a very inspiring thing to see, especially because he's new to us and he's new to the program. All right, I'm going to go to the left of him, and it's going to be Moise Buyer. All right, Moise Buyer comes to us from DeMatha. He comes from a great program. He's got a great knowledge of the game. He's got a thirst for the game. He's a big physical linebacker. He's 6'2". He's 235. He moves downhill real well, and he's that kind of natural leader. He's going to be very vocal, but he's going to understand that playbook real well, and he's going to do the job as it's said. And then I'm going to go Christian Aiken. Christian Aiken is he comes from us, also from New Jersey as well. He's a linebacker. He's got some FCS interest. He's a natural leader. Again, he's also one of our captains. He was with us actually last semester and was player of the game when we beat St. Francis, accumulating 15 tackles. He is a tackling machine. He is a sideline-to-sideline guy. He is a guy you want to represent your program. He's a guy you want to represent your school. Next, we're going to go to the lower classmen. The guys I just spoke on are all 2022s as well. They're all PGs. So they are all open for recruitment and whatnot. Next, I'm going to kind of talk about the young guns at the linebacker position. We have Adam Pearlstein. All right, Adam Pearlstein is a class of 2023. Adam comes from us from Massachusetts. He's kind of in every linebacker, I should say. He can play that Sam position. He can play that Mike position. He can play that Will position. He can even play a little bit of strong safety, but I like him more in the box, and I think schools like him more in the box. And when you see him play, when you see him attack the ball, you're going to understand why you like him inside or at that linebacker position. Again, then we have Brandon Spence, who's also a class of 2023. He's from Canada. He is a grinder on all phases of the game. Special teams, defense. You could throw him in an offense, and I'm sure he'd have success there too. He is a very intelligent young man, very well-spoken young man, flies around, makes plays, makes big hits, was crucial in some of the wins that we had these last few weeks. I'm going to kind of talk now on the D-line. All right, we have Bryce Butler. Now, Bryce Butler comes to us also from Canada. He is a class of 2022. Okay, and Bryce is now starting to blow up when it comes to the FCS and the FBS level. He's starting to get some serious attention from those schools. He plays offense. He plays defense. He does not come out of games, and we have a 53-man roster. He's a straight baller. I'm excited to see his success this year. When it comes to defense, he can line up in a 5 technique, and he can line up in a 0. He can line up in a 2, 3, 1, whatever you need him to do, he's going to do. He comes with a lot of tricks up his sleeve when it comes to pass rushing. When it comes to gap responsibility, there's no question he's there all the time. So it's very exciting to see his career and all his hard work start to take off and get some exposure. Then next to him, we're going to have Chris Dixon. Chris Dixon is also a class of 2022. He comes from us again from Canada. And he is a 3-tech. He is a 1-tech. He is a 0. He's got great length. He's got a great nose for the ball, great thirst for the game. He's going to be around the ball every play, and he's going to cause havoc for quarterbacks, running backs, and offensive linemen have a very tough time blocking him with his length, his strength, and again, his just nose for the football. All right, then I'm going to go to Cyrenius Maynard. Cyrenius is a PG. He is a 2022 PG. Yes, like I said, sorry. He plays that 1-tech. He plays that 0. He could play that 3 as well. He's got such a quick burst off the ball. He's committed to the University of New Hampshire, and he's very excited about that. We're very excited to have him here at this program. He's done a lot for not only our defensive line, but just the camaraderie when it comes to guys on the team. And then now I'm going to kind of go to that back half. I'm going to talk about some of the other guys that we have at the defensive back position. We have Danny Sims. Danny Sims is our strong safety. He's our class of 2022. He now is in his second season with us. He was very crucial in that win against St. Francis that we had last spring. Accumulating 11 tackles, a couple TFLs. He has been an absolute dog back there, and now his recruitment is starting to pick up, and he's starting to get that exposure. He's got the size. He's 6'1", 6'2". He's 190 pounds. He flies around and makes plays. In fact, he actually had our first touchdown of the season. He caught a pick 6 against University of New Haven, which is great, which is awesome as a defense coordinator to see.
Start off the
see
year.
That kind of happen. Yeah, it starts off the year real strong. So I tip my cap to him. Next, we're gonna have our boundary corner, Chris Hudson. Chris Hudson is a class of 2023. Chris Hudson is actually now starting to pick up a lot more attention. He had a great camp at Ohio State University. Actually was named Defensive Player of the Week at the Ohio State camp. He is a young, fiery guy. He flies around. He makes plays. He runs a 4.3, a natural 4.3. He's just got great speed and a nose for the football. I tell you what, he's got a nose for the football. So having him back not only this year and next year is going to be a great thing, not only defensively but for his recruitment. I think the exposure he's going to get coming up is going to be big. That's kind of how I think I touched upon most of the defense and everybody on the defense and some of the guys that I think will be at that FCS, FBS level in the next year or two. And again, if people have questions or comments or concerns, please follow me and let me know. I can share all the information I need. I know it's kind of tough without that seeing some of the things, but we're more than welcoming to have people come through and check out what we're kind of all about and what we got going on here.
Yeah, man. So you guys have quite a bit going on, right? I mean, you said hats off to one of your guys, but hats off to you for just unless you got notes in front of you or you got somebody behind the camera holding up cue cards, you ran with that pretty solid, man. I mean, you know your guys, right?
It.
I mean,
yes, sir.
Dudes, where they're from, graduating class. I mean, you hit us, right? So I mean, those dudes are lucky to have you, man, because that's a big deal. And the fact that you're willing to come on here, share some of the rich history of the program, and really just go into great detail about your guys, man. That shows the passion that you have, and really what St. Thomas More has to offer as a program, man. Because I'm sure if you're like that, the other dudes on the staff's got to be like that, man. Because your energy is just like exploding right now. Like you just want to go. Like let's go, right?
Yes, sir. I'm all about the energy. I tell you that. I think it kind of is the culture that we've created here. I know Coach Anderson really embodies that, and he's placed a lot of guys and a lot of younger guys who are ready to go and ready to get these guys placed and get good film and to have them have a successful and safe career here. He's done such a great job of kind of bringing us all together. We have a very young staff. We have a very, some guys are a little bit inexperienced when it comes to, certain things or coaching certain things. But when it comes down to it, the coaching staff, we love each other, right before every game. And I think it's kind of a little corny thing, but before every game, we all dap each other up and give each other a hug and like, hey, let's go get them. And it's same thing with the kids. We have such a culture here. I think, living together and going to class together and then going to practice and doing all these things together, it really brings us as a tight knit group as it can get, and it's a great thing to be a part of. And for outside people looking in, I feel sorry because some people go home and they get to go do all these things. Now we're football, we're academics, we're STM all day, all the time, and it's a great thing. I tell you what, it is a great thing.
That's huge, man. So let's do this, man. For the parents, that might have tapped in, for any kids that might have interest in coming to the program, how do they go about learning more about the program in that sense?
Great. Yeah, that's a great question. So kind of going about how you would get yourselves wrapped up into St. Thomas More and kind of go through the application process. It starts with uh, we will either reach out to you or you can reach out to us. But we want to start some type of line of communication just so we get to know who we're having on campus and who you are as a human, and for the parents to understand who we are and what we're about. Because a lot of places are just looking for, oh, we want this and we want, no, we want you to get a good education. We want you to have some good exposure when it comes to recruiting. We want guys to get in here and understand that we're not setting you up, like I said earlier, for 4 years. We're setting you up for 40 years. And going about that process, we basically get you set in. You apply online. We have you come down. You get to tour the school, and we have a beautiful campus. We always say we're a little school, but a big family, and not only just staff, but from administration all the way down to student. We got a beautiful campus. Like I said, we're on a lake, which out every night you get a beautiful sunset. Every morning you get a beautiful sunrise. So then after we have you here, we'll tour you around. We'll sit down. We'll talk to you, see how you like this, see what you think, what your thought process is, what goals you have for coming to the school, and that's kind of how we get that ball rolling. And then as soon as we can, we enroll you. We get you all situated, and then we're locked in, ready to go.
And just to be clear, you guys, they can come there post grad or not, right?
Yes. So we have guys who are underclassmen. So we actually have guys from 8th grade all the way up to PG.
Okay.
And it's actually a unique dynamic. So we have a lot of international students who come to us, and we have a lot of guys. Oh, I'm sorry.
I said you mentioned Canada a few times, so yeah, definitely a big international presence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, we have guys from all over the country. We got actually one of our kickers is from Japan,
Wow.
but we have guys from the West Coast, East Coast, South, North. We've got guys from Canada. We have a lot of guys from Brazil that go to this school. And actually, I should stop saying just guys. This is actually our first year as a men's and women's school.
Okay.
So for the longest time, we were actually just a men's boarding school, but now we are a women's boarding school as well. And it's great to see them interact. Most of them are most of them are international students as well. From Vietnam, Belize, I believe, Brazil, Spain, Portugal, Vietnam. We kind of got everyone from everywhere. It's a beautiful melting pot we have here.
Yeah, man, the demographic is it sounds like it's second to none, man. That's pretty cool in a small town in Connecticut, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, that's awesome. So look, I appreciate it, man. I know your dudes have to appreciate it, and I hope that the staff there at St. Thomas More appreciate you jumping on, because man, you represent them incredibly well. You represent your dudes incredibly well, and you represent yourself incredibly well. So thank you for jumping on. Thank you for taking the time, man. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hand you the floor one last time to shout out anybody and everybody that's been there for you. Anybody that's helped you along the way. to get to where you're at, man. You're 26. I think you said, you're young,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You
Yes, sir.
you got a long, long road ahead of you, man, and you're already doing big things. So show anybody that shows you love and support that's helped you along the way, man. Give them that love back.
All right, I appreciate it. So I guess I'll start with obvious, my family, my parents, my mom, my dad, my two sisters. I appreciate everything that they've ever done for me in my life. My whole life I've always just wanted to make them proud and, to do right by them. They've always helped me out, whether it's in my career, whether it's, just being there for me mentally or physically. It's just, uh, they are my rock. They are my foundation, and I love them through and through. And I'm very happy to have them by my side. And my grandparents as well, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my whole family. I want to just give a shout out to them. Uh, Going forward, I want to go to a guy who's helped me out not only as a player but as a young coach. When I kind of first started, Coach Anthony Julius. He's the head coach at Bristol Eastern High School, who's doing great things. They're undefeated so far, first time in a while. He's really turned that program around. But he, not only as a player, looked out for me and took care of me and inspired me and helped me get to where I wanted to be, which was obviously ultimately college. But as a coach, and I worked for him for a year and a half, so 2 seasons. I worked for him, and afterwards, he was the one to lead to kind of push me off the edge and say, go get into this coaching world and go have success. Anytime I have a problem when it comes to coaching or when it comes to, decisions I have to make in the coaching realm, I'm his number's on speed dial. I'm calling him. So I definitely thank him. He helped me get this job as well as Coach Manson, who was the head coach here before. And I want to just thank him for allowing me the opportunity to grow as a coach and to grow as a young man. And he's given me a lot of tips and tools to help develop me to where I'm at. And I truly appreciate that opportunity from him. Again, now I want to go to Coach Ernest Anderson. I got to thank Coach Ernest Anderson, who's our head coach right now. He believed in me, and he allowed me to make mistakes and to grow and to be in the position that I'm at. And I could not thank him enough for that. I also want to thank everyone on the staff, Coach James Glowa, Coach Tucker Bashan, Coach Jerry Boggs, Coach Kamar Smith, and Coach Mark Grahowski. I want to just thank them so much for not only being there for myself, but being here for the kids. And, at the end of the day, this is what we're here for, is to be here for the kids. And as much as, it can be a long day or it can be a tough day at practice, either way, they're all positive. They never have anything negative to say. They're always ready for the next day, ready for the next challenge, and they make it very easy to work here. And they make it a very positive environment for all of us, not only as coworkers, but as human beings. And that's a very inspiring thing to have, especially at a young age and especially at a young time in my coaching career. So I'm very thankful for all of them. And honestly, I'm thankful for you, Rob. I'm thankful for you to put me out here and let me speak on behalf of the school and on behalf of the guys. And I truly appreciate your time. I understand, you're a busy guy. You're doing great things with this podcast. And I'm excited to see this thing grow and take off. And I'm happy to be a part of this. So
I
I appreciate you and your time.
Yeah, man. Likewise, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to jump on. Like I said, you represent yourself incredibly well. The program, the dudes, man. Like, you've got an incredibly bright future, and I'm telling the student athletes that every night. But you yourself, man, I think you're going a long way. Your journey's just getting started, man. You're 26. I could say that you're still a kid in my eyes because I'm getting old, man. But now, anywho, let me close this out with the final question I do every single time, man. I do it to all the kids. So if you watched any of the kids' interviews, right? If you checked out Brian's interview, I asked him, that question is, what motivates and what drives you to want to wake up tomorrow and be that much more successful than you were today?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is.
I guess I guess the thing that drives me the most would probably be just the self awareness of knowing where we are, where I am in, I guess, in life, and knowing that what I get to do every day is help young student athletes uh, chase their dream. And I always wanted to be the coach that I wish I had growing up, or say the right thing at the right time. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing is I just want to inspire and enable all young student athletes to reach their full potential. Is not only young men, um, and, but young citizens and young student athletes achieving their goals. You know, a lot of these guys want to go to college for free and to give back to their parents and to do great things. And I'm just happy that that's what I get to wake up and know I get to do.
And that's big. That is, look, incredibly well said. I'm going to say thank you again, man, for everybody that's watching, for everybody that's stuck through, the conversation. It was a great conversation, man. So if you jumped in and out, you might want to just tap in and just watch this whole thing because these dudes are represented incredibly well. They're in great hands. They've got bright futures, man. So make sure you hit the like button again. That's the only way YouTube's going to continue to push this thing out through their algorithm or whatever it's called. I'm still trying to figure this thing out, man. I've only been doing it like 10 or 11 months.
It's
Uh,
all good.
I think I'm like 220, 230 interviews deep, but I'm still learning every day, right? I started
Yes,
off
sir. Yes,
with a
sir.
webcam. I got 4K equipment, studio lights, and some professional streaming software, and still don't know what I'm doing, but it sounds good.
It's all good. You're doing. Hey, this is great, man. I love this. This is awesome.
Very cool, man. So look, I'm gonna close this thing out with my man Darius Miner like I do every single time. So again, check out the foundation's website, dm39.org. We're trying to raise awareness for heart disease within student athletes. Together, we can help save lives. Every strong athlete needs a strong heart. With that being said, here's my man Darius. I appreciate it.